Okay, welcome to the Mole Mass video project by Giselle Cruz, period 2. Now, let's start with question 1. The first part in question 1, we need to balance our equation. Now, we see that there is an NO and NO here. But there's 2, so there's a difference there, and that's from here. So what do we need to balance out our equation? Remember, the amount of atoms you have on this side must be the same as the amount of atoms you have on the other side. Now let's see. 1 clearly isn't working, so let's try 2. If we have 2NO, would it be the same as over here? Not quite yet. But if we put a 2 here also, then it would balance itself out and we would have 1 of O2, and 2 of NO, NO. Now that we've balanced our equation, this is just a fill-in. 2 moles of NO will react with 1 mole of O2 to produce 2 moles of NO2. Now B is a fill-in plus a multiplication. Okay, question mark moles of NO2 equals 3.6 moles of O2 times what mole NO2 over mole O2. Now, to fill this in, we'll have to look at our balanced equation. How many moles of NO2 are there? There's 2. Now, how many moles of O2 are there? There is 1, so it's 2 over 1. That's your ratio. Now, let's see. 3.6 times 2 divided by 1 equals 7.2 mole of NO2. Okay. Now we have question C. How many of NO must react to form 4.6 moles of NO2? Okay, let's start with what we have. We know there's 4.67 mole of NO2 times what over what? Now we know this is a mole NO2, so right here this should be mole NO2 down here as well. And how many moles of this are there? There is 2. Now what do we want? Moles of NO. So we have mole of NO here, and we check our balanced equation, and there is 2 of those as well. So in order to solve for what the question is asking of you, you multiply 4.67 mole of NO2 times 2 moles of NO divided by 2 moles of NO2, which would equal out, and these cancel each other out, so that would equal 4.67 mole of NO. And we are done with question 1. Now, question 2. We have to balance this equation also. Now let's see. We have blank NH3 plus O2. These two react to form blank N2 plus blank H2O. Now we have to balance this equation as well. Let's do some thinking. Let's see, what numbers can we insert to have the same number of atoms here as we have on this side? We have NH3, NH3, so there's 3 of this. 2, and there's 1 here, so you have to balance that one out as well. 2 here, you have 4, 3, 2, 6. 4 NH3. You have the 4 of N 2 times 2 equals 4, so 4n. And then you have 4 times 3 equals 12. 6 times 2 equals 12 as well. And to balance out the 6 of O here, 3 times 2. Now let's see, 2a. 20 moles of NH are needed to produce blank moles of H2O. We'll have to solve for that. So what we have is 20 mole of NH3 times what? Over mole of NH3. How many moles of NH2 do we have? We have 4. And what do we need? Moles of H2O. Mole of H2O, and we have 6 moles of that. So what is 20 times 6 divided by 4? It'll equal 30. And since these cancel each other out, it is 30 mole of H2O. So 20 moles of NH3 are needed to produce 30 moles of H2O. Well, let's see what B is. How many moles of N2 will be produced if 3.5 moles of O2 react? So let's start what they gave us. As usual, 3.5 mole of O2 times over mole of O2. And we need moles of N2, so mole of N2. Nitrogen. Now let's see. How many moles of oxygen are there? 3 O2. How many moles of nitrogen are there? 2. 2 mole of N2. So 3.5 times 2 divided by 3 equals 2.3 mole of N2. Now we have reached our final question in this video. Our equation here is already balanced out for us. So the only thing we need to answer is how many moles of hydrogen, H2, are needed to react with 2.2 moles of nitrogen, N2. How do we do this one? So we have 2 mole of N2 times what over mole of N2. Since this is already balanced, let's see how many N2s we have. We have 1. If there's nothing in front of it, then it's 1. Let's see, and we need to find hydrogen. So how many moles of hydrogen are there? There is 3 moles of hydrogen, H2. So 2 times 3 divided by 1 equals 6. These cancel each other out. So 6 mole of H2. Therefore, 6 moles of H2 are needed to react with 2 moles of nitrogen. So how many moles of hydrogen, H2, are needed to react with 2 moles of nitrogen, N2? 6 moles of hydrogen. Thank you for watching this video. Toodaloo.